Dear students, welcome to this digital lecture series. The topic of today's discussion is nuclear physics, and in that we are going to see nuclear models. So, what are nuclear models? We are all familiar that an atom consists of nucleus at the center with electrons revolving around it in the orbits. So similarly, there should be some model of how a nucleus looks like, and that model is called the nuclear models. There are two types of models. One is the nuclear shell model and the other is the liquid drop model. So first we are going to see the shell model. We all know that atom consists of a nucleus, a positively charged nucleus at the center with electrons revolving around the nucleus in certain orbits. And we have seen that the atoms having number of electrons equal to 2, 8, 18, 36, 54, etc. they were found to be more stable in nature. These atoms corresponded to the elements called the inert gases, and these elements, they were found to be more stable. Now, thinking on the same lines, Mayer and Jensen, these are two scientists, Mayer and Jensen, they proposed a model for the nucleus. They proposed that the nucleus consists of nucleons, and we have seen that nucleons are the particles that are found inside the nucleus, and they are protons and neutrons. These two scientists found that the nucleus having nucleon number equal to 2, 8, 20, 28, 50, 82, 126, so on, certain specific number. These nucleus, they were found to be more stable and abundantly found in the nature. Now these numbers which are mentioned, 2, 8, 20, 28, 50, 82, 126, these numbers were called magic numbers. And those nucleus having nucleon number equal to magic number, they were found to be more stable. Now see, we are having certain elements whose number of electrons, in which the number of electrons present were 2, 8, 18 and so on, they were more stable. We are having certain nucleus where the number of nucleons present in the nucleus, that is 2, 8, 20, 28, that is the number of nucleons is equal to the magic number. Such nucleus are more stable. Then based on this logic, that if the atoms of certain element has certain number of electrons in its orbit, they are stable. And if the nucleus of certain element has certain fixed number of nucleons, that numbers were magic numbers, then those nucleus were also found to be stable. So the two scientists Mayer and Jensen, they proposed a model for the nucleus similar to the model of an atom. Now what was their logic? That if a certain atom has certain fixed number of electrons, then they are stable. Similarly, if certain nucleus has certain fixed number of nucleons and that number is equal to magic number, then they were also found to be stable. So they, based on this logic, proposed a model for the nucleus, and that model will be similar to the model of an atom. So what these scientists Mayer, Jensen and Wigner proposed? According to them, a nucleus consists of large number of nucleons, that is protons and neutrons. And there is a center of mass at the center and a large number of shells or orbits surrounding this center of mass inside the nucleus. The nucleons present in the nucleus are distributed in the shell according to the Pauli's exclusion principle. These nucleons, they revolve in the orbit around the center of mass. Now for this particular model, that is the shell model, the individual motion and the characteristics of each particle was considered. So now what we have seen, that the nucleus is having a model similar to the atoms. In the atoms, there is a positively charged nucleus at the center and electrons are revolving around the nucleus in certain specific orbit. Now according to the shell model, the nucleus has a center of mass at the center. Around this center of mass, there are certain shell or orbits, and in these orbits, the nucleons, that is the protons and neutrons, are distributed according to the Pauli's exclusion principle, and these nucleons are revolving around the center of mass in that orbit. So the atomic model and the shell model proposed for the nucleus is nearly same. It is having nearly the same structure. Now what were the special features of this shell model? The shell model can explain the existence of magic numbers. The high binding energy of the nucleus can be explained on the basis of shell model. More stability of the nucleus, having number of nucleons equal to the magic number, could be explained by the shell model. The total nuclear angular momentum, which is given by capital J is equal to capital L plus capital S of the nucleus, can be found out by using the shell model. But the shell model also had certain limitations, and this limitation was that the total nuclear angular momentum of certain nucleus like sodium cannot be found out, and certain nucleus, they were found to have a high value of the nuclear quadrupole moment. Generally, this high value of nuclear quadrupole moment of the nucleus was found for those nucleus where the mass number was a odd number. They were having odd mass number. And this high value of nuclear quadrupole moment could not be explained for the nucleus having odd mass numbers. And more importantly, the process of nuclear fission, it could not be explained by using the shell model. So, another model came into existence to define the structure or appearance of the nucleus, and that model was called the liquid drop model. Now, in the liquid drop model, the nucleons can occupy any position inside the nucleus. In this model, the collective behavior of the nucleons was taken into consideration, and in the liquid drop model, it was assumed that the nucleus is similar to the liquid drop. Now, why was the nucleus assumed similar to the liquid drop? Certain similarities were found between a liquid drop and the nucleus. Let's see what were those similarities on the basis of which the nucleus was assumed to be a liquid drop or similar to the liquid drop. So, assumptions of liquid drop model. Now, we all know that the liquid drop is spherical in shape due to the forces of surface tension. And in the same way, the nucleus was also found to be nearly spherical in shape. So, this is the first similarity between the liquid drop and the nucleus. Secondly, we have seen that if you consider a liquid drop, then at every point inside that liquid drop, the density of the liquid remains same. It is always constant. For a liquid drop, the density at every point inside the liquid is constant. And we have seen that the nuclear density, it is also a constant at every point inside the nucleus. And we have also seen that the nuclear density, it is same, it is nearly constant and of order of 10 raised to the power 17 kg per meter cube for a nucleus. For every nucleus, the nuclear density is nearly same. So, this is the second similarity, that density at any point inside the liquid drop is same. Similarly, the density at every point inside the nucleus is also same. So, because of this, the nucleus is again considered similar to a liquid drop. Now, we know that the nuclear forces of all the four forces that we know, the nuclear forces are very strong. They are short range. Short range means they act within a very short distance, and they are strong short range forces, and they bind together the nucleons to form the nucleus. So, nucleons inside the nucleus are binded together by the short range but very strong nuclear forces to form the nucleus. In the same way, liquid drop consists of large number of liquid molecules and these liquid molecules are held together to form the liquid drop by a force which is called the force of cohesion or cohesive force. So this is the third similarity, that the role of nuclear force in the nucleus is similar to the role of cohesive force inside the liquid drop. Again, we know that the latent heat of vaporization, it is a characteristic of every liquid. If you are taking a particular liquid, it will have certain latent heat of vaporization. That is the amount of heat required for the vaporization of unit mass of that particular liquid. So every liquid is having its own latent heat of vaporization. So it is a constant for a particular liquid. Similarly, we have seen that the binding energy per nucleon, it is never same for the nucleus of two different elements. Two different elements will have two different binding energy per nucleon. So we can conclude that the binding energy per nucleon is a characteristic constant of a nucleus of an element. Now there is a similarity that the latent heat of vaporization is a characteristic constant for every liquid. Similarly, the binding energy per nucleon is a characteristic constant for the nucleus of every element. So because of this similarity, again we can conclude that the nucleus is similar to a liquid drop model. Now, how is a liquid drop formed? Liquid drop is formed by the process of condensation. Many liquid molecules come close to each other, they combine, and when the temperature falls, they form a liquid drop. Similarly, we have seen that when a high energy projectile is incident on a target nuclei, they combine together to form a compound nucleus. So formation of a compound nuclei is similar to the formation of liquid drop. And this similarity again led to the conclusion that the liquid drop is similar to the nucleus, or a nucleus is similar to a liquid drop. And again, in the nuclear reaction, there is emission of elementary particles from the nucleus. This process is similar to the emission of the liquid molecules during the process of vaporization. We know that whenever there is vaporization, the liquid molecules, they are converted into steam or gaseous form and they move into the space. Similarly, this process is similar to the emission of elementary particles from the nucleus. This sixth similarity also led to the conclusion that a nucleus is similar to the liquid drop. Now, based on these similarities between the liquid drop and the nucleus, we can conclude that the nucleus and the liquid drop are of the same shape, or they are similar, and hence nucleus was supposed to be like a liquid drop. So what are the advantages of liquid drop model? Remember that the nuclear shell model could not explain the nuclear fission. But on the basis of liquid drop model, we can explain the nuclear fission process. So that's all regarding the nuclear models. There are just two models. One is the shell model, other is the liquid drop model for a nucleus. Have a nice day.